Have you ever wondered how a giant oak tree gets its food? Have you ever wondered how a giant oak tree gets its food? It doesn't order a pizza or go to the grocery store. No way. Plants are amazing because they make their own food. This incredible process is called photosynthesis. Think of it as a plant's very own super-efficient kitchen where it cooks up a delicious, energy-packed meal for itself. Without this ability, plants couldn't grow tall, produce beautiful flowers, make tasty fruits. They would have no energy to live, just like we would if we never ate. So, understanding photosynthesis is like getting the secret recipe to life on Earth. It's science, and it is cool. This whole food-making magic isn't just important for the plants themselves. It's important for you. It's important for me. It's important for every animal on the planet. Plants are the foundation of almost every food chain. A cow eats grass. A person might eat a hamburger. A rabbit nibbles on clover. A hawk swoops down to eat the rabbit. So where does all this amazing action happen? The primary location for photosynthesis is in the leaves of a plant. You can think of a leaf as a perfectly designed solar panel, a tiny factory all rolled into one. Leaves are typically broad and flat. This shape allows them to capture as much sunlight as possible, just like spreading out a blanket to catch more sun at a picnic. The more surface area a leaf has, the more sunlight it can soak up, and the more food it can make. It's all about efficiency. Plants have had millions of years to perfect their design for maximum solar absorption. If you were to zoom in, way in, on a single leaf, you'd find it's made of millions of tiny cells. Inside those cells are even tinier structures called chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are the real engines of photosynthesis. They are microscopic green machines where the food-making process takes place. They look green because they're filled with a pigment called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the key ingredient that captures energy from sunlight. Its job is to absorb light energy from the sun, specifically the red wavelengths and the blue wavelengths. But it doesn't absorb green light. Instead, it reflects green light back out. That's why plants look green. Now that we have our factory, the leaf, and our workers, the chloroplasts, let's look at the recipe. Photosynthesis needs 3 main ingredients: sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, sunlight plus water plus carbon dioxide, glucose, sugar, plus oxygen. We've already seen how chlorophyll captures sunlight energy, and we know that carbon dioxide enters the leaf through the stomata. But where does the water come from? The plant's roots are responsible for this part. They absorb water from the soil, and this water is then transported all the way up the stem and through a network of tiny tubes, like plumbing, into the leaves. Once all 3 ingredients, sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, are together inside the chloroplasts, the chemical reaction can begin. This happens in 2 main stages. In the first stage, the light-dependent reactions, the chlorophyll uses the energy it captured from sunlight to split water molecules apart. A water molecule is made of hydrogen and oxygen, releasing protons and electrons. The oxygen is a waste product for the plant, so it gets released back into the air through the stomata. This is the very oxygen that we breathe. In the second stage, the light-independent reactions, or the Calvin cycle, the plant uses the carbon dioxide it took from the air. This stage doesn't need sunlight directly, but it does need the energy that was captured during the first stage. Using that stored energy, the plant performs chemical reactions that combine the carbon dioxide with the hydrogen that was split from the water. Through this cycle, the plant converts the simple gas into a more complex molecule, a sugar called glucose. This is the plant's food. This glucose is pure energy for the plant. It's a sugar that can be used right away to power the plant's growth and daily functions, like making new leaves or repairing damage. Or if the plant makes more food than it needs right away, it can store the energy for later. It does this by converting the glucose into more complex carbohydrates like starch, which it can store in its roots, which it can store in its seeds, which it can store in its fruits. Think about a potato. Think about a grain of rice. That's all stored energy from photosynthesis, which becomes energy for us when we eat it. The process is a complete cycle of energy creation and storage. It's elegant and continuous. The importance of photosynthesis extends far beyond just feeding the plant. Every complex living thing on Earth, including us humans, owes its existence to this process. Plants form the base of the food web. Herbivores, animals that eat plants, get energy directly from plants. Carnivores, animals that eat other animals, get energy indirectly via plants. Without photosynthesis creating that first batch of energy-rich glucose, there would be no energy to pass around. Life as we know it could not exist. There's another reason photosynthesis is so vital. Remember that waste product when plants split water? It's oxygen. Before photosynthesis, there was very little oxygen in Earth's atmosphere. The air wasn't breathable for animals like us. Photosynthesis changed everything. Over millions of years, photosynthetic organisms pumped enormous amounts of oxygen into the atmosphere. Every breath you take contains oxygen made by plants. Plants are self-sufficient food factories. Leaves capture sunlight. Roots drink water from the ground. Tiny pores on leaves breathe in carbon dioxide. Inside chloroplasts, sunlight combines water and CO2 into sugary glucose. That glucose powers the plant, and oxygen is released as a byproduct for us to breathe. It's a beautiful, essential partnership. Next time you see a green plant, a house plant, the grass in a park, or a towering tree, take a moment to appreciate its work. It's silently performing a miraculous chemical reaction that fuels our planet.